Micky, deadline day, how have you seen January gone yourself?
Yeah, it's always the way that we deal with it is we wanted to see how the squad would do from last season, the ones that we were able to keep and move forward with, and we let the games and results tell us where we were up to really. But we're always trying to, we're a club that's in a transition like Tranmere that is still very keen to move up the leagues. You, as I've said many times, you either have to improve the players that are already here or think that they can improve, or you have to get them from the youth team or whatever, or any kind of lines of recruitment, or you have to try and bring them in from outside because you think that you can, one, that are available to you and they want to come. And then there's also the loan market, which is a recruitment route that every club at our kind of level uses. We would love, I know I've said this before, but we would love 22 lads that live 10 miles from the ground, all aged 21, that are all really, really good players and can move the club forward, or Tranmere fans who are going to be here forever. It doesn't really happen, it's not going to happen like that. So really there's different ways that we think about it. There's kind of long term, there's the short term, i.e. just winning games in order to try and give us a chance of becoming safe in this league, or whatever the objective is, getting into the playoffs, or whatever we believe as a staff that the objective is. And then people have got to be available to you. We would all like to go and get Gareth Bale because we think we need somebody to play up front or whatever, but they're not in our recruitment pool. And then also he's not available. They have to be available. So what we do is you also have to look around at your options to see if people are available and see if they're within your recruitment pool. And then you have to make a judgment call and say, right, why is it that you're bringing them? Is it for the short term? Is it to win enough games to get us into the playoffs, or is it a long-term thing that we think can develop them and move the team forward? Because, as I said before, Tranmere's in a transition. It's trying to get back to a level where, certainly I think that, like I said, that a club the size of this should be playing comfortably in League One, comfortably. So that's where we're aiming to try and get to. It's not easy because of some of the budgets that you're competing with at times, but you've got to find other ways of doing that, and you've got to be optimistic and believe that you can do that, and we do. So yeah, January's been a month that we've planned for a while. We knew the players that we'd like to bring in. We've lost out on some. That's what happens. Some opportunities for good players they believe are better elsewhere. That's the way that it works. Not every player that you go for has the same fondness for Tranmere as what we do, which is obviously difficult for us to understand because we're very fond of Tranmere, but that's the way it goes. So then, like I say, you have to move things around, but we believe that we've recruited well. We want to recruit in certain areas. Obviously, and this is important, and I hope everybody listens to this, because I've done these transitions before. I know what it's like. There'll be people saying, well, that's you got so many players in that position. Why did you need to bring another one or whatever? Sometimes the timing in transitions, that a player becomes available and a player getting an opportunity to go somewhere else just doesn't marry up. So if you bring in you see a certain player becomes available and you think he's a good player. If I don't go from that point and I'm waiting for somebody to leave, then I lose out on the player and I don't move the group forward. So it can be difficult sometimes maybe for people to understand, but I do understand that it's not an in and out policy. As soon as I bring somebody in, I'm not just able to go, right, see you later. It doesn't work like that. they've got to have somewhere to go or whatever, or an opportunity for them. But also we need a squad of 20 plus players to get through, as we've seen throughout certainly the first sort of half of the season. You just can't play. You just don't know what's going to happen. Suspensions, all the banks, people getting injured, people coming and taking my players because they think that they can improve their squads by buying them. So it's an ongoing thing. But yeah, I understand that people sometimes don't understand, and I'm not trying to be clever there. But we have a plan moving forward, and it's always just to get Tranmere winning games of football. It's not a scattergun sort of thing in terms of recruitment, and they don't always come in the right order. They don't. I know that everybody was saying, why don't you just go and get one of them? And then I go and get someone from another position, and they say, well, why didn't you just go and get that? Because he wasn't available. The timing wasn't right. But we know that when good players become available, that we work hard to try and bring them in. And what I'm saying to everybody out there is we're in a transition. We're not going to have a team at the minute that I think that can blast their way to the championship or whatever that people believe that we can do. It's either going to be the players here are going to have to keep improving, keep winning games. Because you keep winning games, you move up the leagues. Or when the opportunity comes, and I say this, the opportunity, because they don't suddenly, I don't lift my phone or lift my head up above the desk and all of a sudden the player that I want becomes available. You have to wait, you have to be patient sometimes, or balance it up. If another opportunity comes and you think, well, that's on loan, that will get me to there and maybe I can get him, and it's a juggling act all the time, and it's tough and it's frustrating, and you think we're not getting anywhere. Then all of a sudden, bang, somebody appears and you go, yeah, that's the one that I wanted. Or you get a phone call and somebody says, I want to buy your player. And they go, like Norburn, they go, and you never planned for them to go, and away you go, and you're trying to bring other ones in. So it's an ongoing thing, but it's just understand that, hopefully everybody out there, that we do have a plan. It's to win games of football. It might not come in the order that you believe, but if I could tell you that it just doesn't work like that. But we are always going to be looking to try and improve the group that we've got here. If there's somebody that will become available, we will bring them, or try and bring them, and then get them in the building, try and get the first team winning, and then deal with everything else around about that, trying to find whoever he's replacing, a new club, or maybe he's got a new opportunity. That's the way it'll work. And it'll be like that until I can sign them all on 4-year contracts like they do in the Premier League. And I know that because this is such a good team, that this team for 4 years is only going to improve, and I don't need to go and recruit from outside of that. That would be the ultimate aim. Will that happen? I don't know. But for the minute, I just have to keep trying to improve the group.
The recruitment process, it's an ongoing thing, isn't it? There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, isn't there?
Madness. I couldn't, even today, the amount of names that you go through, the amount of lists that you have, the players that you've watched, the players that you're checking on again, you're checking their availability, you're doing more of that than probably much anything else really. It's ongoing phone calls, speaking to agents, it's just all the time. And then you're looking at your own group and you're thinking how you improve them, how you make them better. And then if you get good players in, other people might be interested in them as well. So it's an ongoing thing all the time. But sometimes you would just like for people to understand that and respect that the best way to describe it is it's not like a tombola where we just pick a name out of a hat and bang, we have a plan moving forward, and then sometimes it might be difficult for people to understand that not everybody wants to come to Tranmere, not everybody lives up here. We can't afford everybody, and a lot of players play for other football clubs that they don't want to lose them. So that's the way it works. So you have to look at all avenues of recruitment and feeding that first team, because that's what it's about feeding the first team, keep improving the first team. And I know the problems you get with that as well, with injuries and losses of form or tactical stuff that you think, so everybody thinks you want to play 4-4-2 and you're playing against 4-3-3, and 20 minutes into the game you realise that their three midfield players are annihilating you and you're not doing anything where you have to change the system, but you have to hope that on your bench you have a player that can go in and help to fix that tactical problem that you have. That's what squads are all about, and that's what I have to be able to have, is the ability within the group, not just on the pitch, to be able to hopefully cause other teams problems with the tactical things that we do, or stop their problems by the players that I have on the bench. So it's a juggling act all the time.
And 8 players are coming in January. Granted, 2 of them were already here with Harvey and Luke, but it's been a productive month, hasn't it?
It is, yeah. It is. It's been hard work. Listen, let me tell you something, we didn't just lift the phone and they arrived here. We're a hell of a lot of work into it. Logistically, we've got Sid coming all the way from Millwall who doesn't drive. So logistically you've got to get Sid from in this weather up to here, get him all sorted out. All the people at the club are all working hard to make sure that logistically that works for him, that he just comes up here and he's able to just to control and he's just get on with his football. Then you've got Kieran Morris, whose first time he's ever left Walsall, so he's now coming to his second football club almost. So you've got all sorts of things going on that you've got to deal with, and looking at it, and Dennis Bergkamp has just become available and we can afford them. Am I going to let Dennis Bergkamp not come to Tranmere, or am I going to try and bring him and then deal with the fallout of that after he arrives in the building? Because Dennis Bergkamp in his heyday would make us better. So what do? You don't bring him. So that's what I'm saying. That's a little insight into how frustrating and sometimes difficult for people to understand that recruitment can be. I mean, my young boys play FIFA, and if my world was like FIFA, it would be much easier, because you can just move my players into areas and get the say just do that job in a day, or I can sell and buy people like I want with a click of a switch, and he leaves the building, he arrives, brilliant. I don't even have to find him somewhere to live on FIFA. I have to find him somewhere to live here. And then they're human beings, so they make mistakes and they have preferences in the way they want to live and eat. And I've now got a vegan in the group, which is great. So it's so much to it, but we're on top of it and we enjoy it, we work hard at it, but it's not as easy as what you believe it is, trust me.
Some of the time sharing that loan signings, 4 lads have come in and they made 500 career appearances together combined, so it just shows the experience that you've brought in, doesn't it?
My solicitor Martin Price told me the other day about how the All Blacks pick a team. They call it caps on the pitch. They believe they're the greatest team in the world by the highest win percentage of anybody. They have caps on the pitch, so they believe that they've got to get as many caps on the pitch as possible to give themselves the best chance of winning games. If they don't have a lot of caps on the pitch, they see that as inexperienced and they don't give themselves a good chance of winning games. And he spoke to me about our group and we were chit-chatting away, and he told me about the All Blacks story, and he said, you need to get more Football League caps on the pitch. You need to get more experience into the group. Players that know the Football League. Players that have done the trip before and know the intensities and know the pressures that are put on them. He never picked the players that I brought, but it just made me start to think and yeah, that it's right, experience, as long as it's not over the hill, as long as it's still got value to bring to the group, as long as it's going to make you better, there's no substitute for it. So all the lads that we brought in will add Football League caps to my group. They will almost treble it, quadruple it. So that'll be important, coming into an important part of the season. We're very much short-term focused on trying to, first of all, secure that we're going to play in the Football League next season, because I don't believe we've done that yet. And then aim for the playoffs, minimum. get in there, and you just don't know. You just keep trying to win games. And the players that were brought in, even though some short term because they're loans, believe me, I'd like to have them for the next few years. They're all good players. But short term now, until the last ball's kicked this season, we've got some very good players in the building. That'll give Tranmere, I believe, a better chance of winning games of football, which is what we all want, and we all want to achieve. And like I say, more Football League caps in the building, not just on the pitch, which the Football League lads behave differently. They expect different. They train like they know that they have to train, which is a great example of everybody here. So that's a little bit in your recruitment as well.
And now it's all about bringing them all together now, isn't it, and focusing towards that second half of the season?
Yeah, no, it's about getting it onto the grass and getting them organised. It's exciting because it's new faces and they bring different qualities to the squad. The other players enjoy playing with something different. A new face who's different, like I say, different qualities, different abilities. It's good to shape and shift things around a little bit. So no, it's good. We're excited about it, and I'm looking forward to getting them out onto the grass, working with them, and then going and watching them playing, and get results for Tranmere, because that's what it's all about. It's getting results for Tranmere, because we don't like getting beat. I don't ever want us to like getting beat, or accept getting beat. So that's why we work so hard on recruitment, to make sure that we move a group forward that represents Tranmere properly.